Who? Tim Duncan?
Um, yeah.
Just got another subscriber. I think we got 8 today. It's not bad, but
Does that thing work?
um, I've been hearing it all day when I'm not streaming, but when we stream, I don't hear it. That's what's weird.
Hmm.
Like I hear Kawhi laughing in my ear every single time it goes off.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Kind of cool. Alright, I'm tweeting it out.
Yeah, you like have to take Luca. I wish Luca had forward eligibility so I could throw in Chris Paul and then I'd.
Appreciate that, Dennis. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm glad you killed it, man. We had a lot of GPP plays last night that smashed it. I was scared about Favors, man. He was he was a very lone player that got off to a very slow start, and then at the very end, he came together and got me 36. I think it was 36. So hopefully you started Favors last night.
Matt, the stream subject shows UFC DFS picks tonight.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
The subject?
Yeah.
Like the
on
main
the
title?
It says yeah. Pre-lock live stream, NBA DraftKings 127 lineup picks today, Monday picks, and then it says dash UFC DFS picks tonight.
Okay. I will change that.
I don't know if you can modify that while we're streaming or not.
I probably can't.
It's not a big deal.
Is that the very end of the title? Oh
Yeah.
no, I can edit it.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't want people coming in here demanding UFC plays.
I got it. I just saved it.
I know.
Tell me if it updated.
I had a refresh. Nope.
It didn't?
Nope.
It did
It's
for
fine.
me.
Oh, it did. DFS picks. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
We are not covering UFC, guys. Sorry for the hiccup there. Welcome, guys. Welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get started so we have enough people in here. This slate is crazy. For you guys who watched the video, you knew I was all over Houston, and then the crazy injury news came out with Capella. I was even more on Houston, and then James Harden was questionable, and then I went off Houston, went back to San Antonio, and then Harden was ruled out again, went back on to Houston. So we're going to talk about those two teams right now. I think those are the most obvious plays, and I talked and I touched base on this in my pinned post, and I also did it in Discord because I want to keep you guys updated throughout the day on the injury news. So let's go ahead and dive right into that. Let's go ahead with the chalkiest team, TJ, and Houston. Let's touch base on our favorite plays here. Do you want to go ahead and start that off?
Yeah. Hope everybody's doing well after yesterday. Tragic day, obviously. So, yeah, just a tough overall day for NBA and everybody that loves NBA. But yeah, let's dive into Houston. So obviously we don't have Westbrook, we don't have Harden, and we don't have Capella. So who do we have? Why is my... There we go. Okay. So the guys that I'm really honing in on are obviously Hartenstein at 3K playing 30 minutes. I think Matt alluded to it earlier. He's the best play we've ever seen on a slate. He actually averages 1.17 fantasy points per minute, so he's very productive when he's on the court. At a minimum price, 30 minutes, you should have him in every single lineup you play tonight. Don't try and get cute and fade him no matter what. Like, I understand he's playing Utah. I understand it's a tough matchup, but he's 3K playing 30 minutes. So he'll obviously be a big building block in cash. Really like Austin Rivers tonight at 3.6. Averages 0.98 fantasy points per minute. Should see 30 to 32 minutes, I would say. Even in a blowout, he's blowout prone. Hartenstein's blowout prone, so love both those guys. Chris Clemens also at 3K. Should see about 22 minutes. The minutes aren't great, but again, at the sub minimum price of 3K, you're probably going to need him. I mean, you don't need him tonight because there's so much value, but he's definitely a guy that we're looking at. Averages 1.32 fantasy points per minute in 104-minute sample size with those guys off the court. So pretty telling that he's very productive with all those three off the court. So those are definitely three guys that we are looking at tonight for cash. I mean, Daniel House is obviously viable. Should see 33, 35 minutes. I mean, another guy that's blowout prone. I think those four guys that I just named are the ones that are most likely blowout prone. I think like if Utah obviously throttles Houston, I don't think Eric Gordon will play the minutes that he's allotted right now at 35. Macklemore, Tucker, I think those guys might get a little bit of a break. I mean, they probably will still see those minutes, but in case of a blowout, those are the guys that will probably get affected the most by the minutes. But yeah, Matt and I were talking about Eric Gordon. He rates out really well on my sheet, but the minute sample size is very small. It's minimal. It's only 55 minutes. So that kind of scares me off of him a little bit, but I'm definitely going to be I think I'm going to be overweight on him on GPPs. I know Matt said he was going to probably fade him, and I completely understand.
I'm going to retract that, but I'll talk about it in a second.
Okay. So he actually gets, and like I said, it's only a 55-minute sample size, so it's very minimal. But he gets a 15% usage bump with these guys off the court, which is just absolutely insane. And obviously, I mean, who's going to handle the ball when Westbrook and Harden are off the court? It's most likely going to be Eric Gordon and most likely Austin Rivers. So I'm definitely interested in Eric Gordon. I don't know if he'll make it into my cash build because I don't think he'll be popular, especially with all these value tonight. I think it's going to be a Stars and Scrubs type cash build tonight, obviously. But I don't know. I keep looking at Eric Gordon, and obviously they're playing Utah, and that stinks. But I don't know. I think I'm going to be crazy tonight in GPPs and be really overweight on him and just roll the dice and see if that's a good leverage play tonight.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, guys, I don't hate any one of these Houston Rockets. Like, if you throw any of these guys into a lineup, I'm going to say go for it, except for Cephalosha and except for Chandler, okay? Right. Those are the only two that I'm like, hey, you should really retract on your lineup and not play those guys. All these guys are great plays. It's just that the best plays are in Hartenstein, Clemens, Rivers, House, and then Tucker, Gordon, and Macklemore become more of a GPP option strictly just because of their percentage ownership. But I would not mind if you guys throw these guys into cash. I really don't mind it. And I just want to add on to what TJ said. He was talking about the blowout proneness of some of these guys. So I'm gonna. If you look at my screen here, this is Popcorn Machine Game Flow. This is showing the last time that Houston got blown out. They did have Westbrook and they had Harden back, but it's showing their third unit here, or I guess their 2.5 unit, because there's some of these people playing from the second unit here. So Michael Frazier, who is not playing tonight, Cephalosha, Hartenstein, Clemens, and Rivers are on the court. So obviously without Frazier playing tonight, it looks like his direct sub was Daniel House. So the projected last, like let's say that Utah blows these guys out. The projected last lineup here is probably going to be House, Cephalosha, Hartenstein, Clemens, and Rivers. So even if you're scared away from the blowout potential here, at least start those guys. At least build around those guys besides Cephalosha, because he's only going to get those backup minutes. So those four guys that I talked about, House, Hartenstein, Clemens, Rivers, very, very, very safe as far as minutes. So I think TJ, you can agree with me there. But I think those guys are going to be your safest. If I had to pick guys, I would say those guys right there. But yeah, this Houston Rockets team is very hard to dissect after those players because, I mean, Gordon could definitely step up. I mean, he obviously does with all the usage of Westbrook and Harden. And Macklemore's obviously another good play. But again, guys, if these guys do get blown out, which is a possibility, I don't normally talk about that, these guys probably won't see that last rotation, and it will end up hurting you. If they do keep it close, though, Eric Gordon, sure, viable. Macklemore, sure, he's very viable. So all these guys, definitely on the Houston Rocket train. Anything to add, TJ, or are we done talking about Houston finally?
Yeah, I'm done with Houston.
Okay. So Houston, start the chalk. It's not bad chalk. Be overweight on these guys if you can in GPPs.
Someone asked Matt, I just want to touch base
Sure.
since we're on Houston. Who are the three for cash from Houston?
Mhm.
I would say they are Hartenstein, Clemens, and Rivers. Those would be my three.
Yep. And then followed by House. So if you look here at the list, guys, what TJ just said, it goes right in line with my sheet here. Hartenstein, Clemens, and Rivers right at the top there. Again, those guys are blowout proof. They should be anyway. All right, switching over to San Antonio. I am very happy because I never get to play my Spurs unless it's DeMar DeRozan and Aldridge. But Aldridge is off the court tonight. He is injured. He has an injury with his thumb. So that makes Polo, Gay, Murray some of my favorite plays, and then Trey Lyles being a GPP option. These guys get a slight boost and usage across the entire board, but Polo gets the most minutes being increased here, and they are in a prime matchup here against Chicago down low. So I do like Polo. Again, this is more of a safer option if you want to go for value, just because of just because this game doesn't have blowout potential. But again, Polo is a very, very, very good value play. If Hartenstein wasn't on the slate, Polo would be my favorite value play as well. And then Rudy Gay is also, I know the 22 minutes can scare you, but he's very productive with that Aldridge. He gets a significant boost in usage. Same thing with DeJounte Murray. I liked him before on the video, and now I like him even more. I know it's not a good matchup against Levine, but DeJounte Murray at 4.5, 25 minutes, he actually averages 1.22 fantasy points per minute without Aldridge on the court. So I do like DeJounte Murray. Those three are going to be the guys I'm targeting. DeMar DeRozan is strictly going to be a GPP play, I feel like, just because of the ownership there. It says he's in a bad matchup. I know he gets actually the biggest boost increase. But again, these guys are better options here on San Antonio with Polo, Gay, and Murray. TJ, what do you have to add to that?
I got one question, Matt.
Sure.
Isn't it? I thought that his pronunciation was.
I looked it up too.
Jakob Hurtle.
Dude, I looked it up, and I've heard it on broadcast before. It's Podol, and I've heard it many times, dude. I don't know if they're pronouncing it different ways on national television. I don't know if you guys will help me out, but every single time I've watched the Spurs, I've heard Podol. I don't know if they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I thought it was Jakob Hurtle, but regardless, I digress. Doesn't really matter. He's a great play, so have him in your lineups. So I'll just call him
Jacob tonight.
What's up?
We'll call him Jacob.
No, because I don't want to confuse people.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep calling him Hurdle because I do think it is that. I'm probably wrong.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think that Jakob Hurtle is the second best play in the slate tonight at 3.2. Should see 28 minutes. He's got a great matchup against the Chicago Bigs. Obviously, Chris Paul's out.
Yep.
Okay, so that was my sneak play again. So, all right, so Chris Paul's out, so we'll do that in a second. But let's continue on with
San Antonio.
Yeah. So Jakob Hurtle, obviously a great play, going to be a building block in my cash lineup tonight. It's unfortunate that he only has center eligibility. I mean, obviously, I know that's the position that he plays, but I think there's other good spend ups tonight in Cat and Drummond. You're going to have to pick between the two because obviously you're going to need Jakob Hurtle in cash games. So I definitely like him. Matt alluded to Rudy Gay. I love Rudy Gay tonight. Averages 1.12 fantasy points per minute with Aldridge off the court. Only projected at 22 minutes. Now, I don't know if that's because he is coming back from the injury and Pop is like monitoring his minute restriction or anything like that, because I know this is only his fourth game back. Mm-hmm. He played 18 minutes against Toronto, so I figured he would just continue to build that minutes up. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that was the bump he got in minutes. I figured he would at least get like 26. So I'm definitely interested in Rudy Gay. Great cash play tonight, again, with these Houston guys. And Matt alluded to DeJounte Murray, too. 1.25 fantasy points per minute with Aldridge off the court. I think he's cash viable as well. I don't necessarily think you need him tonight. I think he won't be as high owned as Hurtle and Rudy Gay, but I think he's in a really good spot. I'm definitely going to be overweight on him in GPPs tonight. And then Patty Mills, 23 minutes. I mean, all these guys are good. Patty Mills, Hurtle, Gay, Murray, they're all really good cash plays. Mills and Murray, I think, are going to be very under-owned in relativity to Gay and Hurtle. But yeah, I think all those four guys are cash viable. And then, like Matt alluded to, again, DeMar DeRozan, great GPP play tonight without Aldridge. Gets a 5% usage bump with Aldridge off the court. Averages 1.22 fantasy points per minute. Don't think he's a necessity in cash. I think I'd rather go to somebody maybe like Jimmy Butler. Again, we're still pending that news, but Jimmy's 8K tonight. I think both of them could be potentially cash viable, but I don't think you're going to need either of them tonight, unfortunately, because I think it's going to be more of a stars and scrubs type lineup. So
I will say this about this till this point in the stream. if you're not having Podol and Hartenstein in your main cash lineup, you're doing it wrong, or really in any GPP lineups. Those guys should be your building blocks for tonight. If you're fading him, you're literally fading him just because he could possibly get an injury. There's no reason that you guys should fade these guys whatsoever. They are literally the best values that we've seen in a very long time coming out of a bottom of the barrel price tag.
Yes.
Do you want to go ahead and just start calculating these OKC values real quick?
I'm doing it right now. Yeah,
okay.
Let's do that.
I'll go ahead and take a break then real quick, guys. If this is your first time to the stream, I really appreciate the support.
Was there
I appreciate
anything on,
what's up?
Was there anything on Noel too getting ruled out? Or
Not
is it just,
yet. If you guys could help us out with that, please enter that into the chat.
Nope, there's nothing.
Okay. So thank you guys for showing your support. I know I posted in the video that the live streams are the best thing that you guys can do to find edge. Again, we calculate values all the way up through Slate Lock. A lot of these other streamers, you'll see them get off actually around now, and they start building their lineups. We don't do that. We go all the way up to 6:30 just to give us a little bit of time to squeak out those lineups. But guys, this is where you grab the edge. So if this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell. And be sure to show up to all the live streams. We'll give you that edge. And of course, guys, at the end of the stream, I'll show you my favorite plays. I'll give a summary of everything that we've talked about thus far. And I'm going to go ahead, for you guys that are also new, I'm going to start I'm going to start punching these values for OKC. Because we have a method to all this madness here. With all this injury madness. We see what the rotations look like, and we see what the injuries look like without these guys. And we punch in our own values. We do not look at Rotogrinders. Rotogrinders information can be stale. We do like the percentage ownership values, though. I do like that. But as far as calculating our own values, we do that. We have our own spreadsheets for that as well. Let's go ahead and do that. Everybody out for OKC. Ferguson.
It's Ferguson, Nader, Robertson, and
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, and then potentially Noel. So I'm gonna run mine with Noel out just because he had the face surgery. So I wouldn't expect him to play tonight.
Triple ups are not cash games. I just saw that in the chat. No, triple ups are not cash games, guys. Cash games are strictly 50-50s and double ups. Those are what cash games are. If this is your first time to the stream, we will be putting out a video on contest selection a little bit later. I actually have that down the road, so I will be doing those videos more often to teach you guys how to pick contest selections, build your bankroll, and I even put out a video a little bit earlier in the week last week on how to build GPP lineups in NBA. So all those guys, all those tools are for you guys. So let me refresh the page here, see what the minutes are looking like.
I don't think they updated.
They haven't updated?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, these guys are already getting tagged as good plays here. All right, then. What I'm going to do, TJ, is I'm going to move on to another team here.
Yeah, we can do that.
While we have dead time here. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move over to Detroit because Detroit is without a couple people here. I think they become an intriguing option for a few guys on the roster here. Griffin, Kennard are still out. Thomas is still out. And Derrick Rose, is he questionable still? No, he's probable.
No, he's
okay.
probable.
So he'll probably play.
Tony Snell's the guy that we're still waiting on.
Okay. So as far as Detroit goes, it looks like I keep calling him DeAndre. It's Andre Drummond. He is projected right now at 5.5 on our sheet. He's projected pretty decently owned, and with all this value on the slate, it looks like Andre Drummond's going to be pretty chalky. As you guys know, I've stated a fade when he played Cleveland a couple. This is about 2 weeks ago, and he was at 10.5, 10.2 ish, and I faded him, and he just bit me right in the butt right when I did that. So 9.6, he's even cheaper now, and we know that when he plays Cleveland, he just dominates down low. So Drummond is a good building block for cash as well. I know you're going to have to pay up somewhere, and Drummond's a great pay up option. I know he plays the center position, so however you get to him, do recommend playing him if you can possibly get him into your lineups. Also, Derrick Rose, if he does play 7.8, is also slightly undervalued. However, he's not a cash play. He's definitely going to be more of a GPP option just because of his price increase at 7.8. I touched base on him in the video. So Derrick Rose, another decent option, but we're also still waiting that Tony Snell news to recommend any other guards. But those two guys stand out to me, TJ. What do you think about those two?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that Drummond's going to be really chalky tonight in cash, going up against Cleveland again, somebody that he's dominated in the past, especially this year. So I think at 9,600, I think he's a lock in cash. Again, tonight, I think that there's a lot of good center plays. I think Jakob Hurtel is somebody that you need in your cash lineups tonight. So then, you have to make the decision between Drummond and, all the Heat news is coming out. I've seen if Jimmy Butler.
Nunn's out.
Nunn's out, okay. Yeah. And Jimmy Butler.
Thanks for the update.
Jimmy Butler remains questionable. Okay.
Of course, so that's what we need.
So, yeah, I think Jakob Hurtel is obviously somebody you're locking in your center util spot. So then I think it's between Drummond and Cat at center, and I'm going to go Drummond for cash. I think that's a safer play. You save some money, not like you need to on this slate tonight, but I think he's going to be a lot higher owned than Cat is tonight because he has a soft matchup against Cleveland. And then, I obviously like Derrick Rose. The 7,800 price tag is a little bit iffy. If Butler plays, I'd rather try and find the extra 200 to get to Jimmy. But yeah, I don't hate Derrick Rose. Like I've said in the past, if you land on him, like that's obviously okay as a last spot in cash, but he's not somebody that I'm going out of my way to roster tonight. And then like Matt alluded to, we're obviously penning Tony Snell. That's going to be 27, 28 minutes that get divided. That could give a bump to Bruce Brown. So we're not that we need it. I hope Tony Snell plays because I don't need any more value than we already have. But yeah, those are the only two guys that I'm really targeting right now. We're still pending Tony Snell, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But yeah, I think Drummond's a cash lock tonight, and I definitely don't mind landing on Derrick Rose, but not for me tonight.
So with OKC, their minutes, did they update yet? So I have Alexander here at 35, Gallinari 33. I think those are updated.
Schroeder's
at 35.
SGA. Okay. They bumped Schroeder to 35. Then yeah, they're updated.
Okay. So let me go ahead and start.
SGA would play 36. I don't think he's gonna play any more than that.
So Alexander doesn't really benefit without him. Because I think Chris Paul's a distributor.
Yeah, if anybody, it's gonna be Schroeder.
I was just about to say, I think because Chris Paul is obviously more of a distributor, it might not affect these guys as much because obviously he creates offense. So I'm kind of scared about that, but we'll see. That's why we do this. Bear with us, guys. I know this is the boring part of the stream where we start calculating values, but again, we're doing this to put out the best plays on the slate.
Steven Adams at 6K is very intriguing for GPPs. Like, you're not going to need him for cash, but
yeah.
I like him for GPPs tonight, especially. I don't know if Willie Cauley-Stein's playing. Still pending that news for Dallas, but I definitely like Adams for GPPs tonight. Get off of somebody like Drummond and Cat and try and spend up elsewhere.
Yeah, 1.12 fantasy points per minute is what he's showing without Chris Paul on the court.
I got 1.28, so
yeah, I didn't take all the guys off just because it was too small for some of them.
Gotcha. Yeah, nothing too dramatic, nothing too drastic, which kind of surprised, but slight bump to some guys for sure. I think it makes SGA more desirable. I think it makes Schroeder more desirable. Obviously, Gallinari and Adams, those are the guys. Those are their studs, so those are the guys that are obviously going to get a little bump with somebody like CP3 being out tonight.
Yeah, it looks like Schroeder's going to be the best one here. No. Steven Adams.
Yeah. Well, I don't...
Steven Adams and Schroeder for me.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that.
Now, Gallinari's in a good matchup, but against 7K kind of scares me.
I'd be interested to see who they start. And Schroeder might start, actually. Yeah. If Schroeder starts, then I think I like Schroeder the most.
All right, guys, let me touch base on some of these questions here. We're going to wait the Miami news. So, question here. What does GPP mean? Okay, so there's two different contests, guys. There's cash and then there's GPPs. GPPs, about 25 to 33%. Well, more 20.
Yeah.
20 to 28-ish% cash. But the higher you get in that cash, the more they pay out. So if you score first place out of 500 people, you get roughly 50% or 50 times return.
12K, or you could be one rebound short and then come in second and win 2.5.
2.5. Yeah. So that's the difference. And then cash, if no matter where you place on that one side of the bar, you're gonna double up your money. So double up and GPPs, you obviously, in GPPs, you want lower owned guys with a mix of high owned guys. And then for cash, you strictly want high owned guys, guys that are popular and guys that have upside as well. So that's the difference. Kevin Love question mark. So we actually haven't touched base on Cleveland, but I did crunch the numbers there in the video earlier this morning. I don't really like Cleveland as much. Really, their guard play is just frustrating, man. I feel like any one of those guys just snaps and the other guys do nothing. So Garland, Sexton, I mean, there's all these guys are strictly GPP options. Kevin Love is going to be the most popular of that bunch, I guess, for GPPs, but I don't really love him. I don't really love him. Get it? Because love. Okay. Kevin Love, 7.9 is strictly just a GPP play, power forward position. So if you're able to get him in there, you might be able to with a couple other guys there in the center position. But I don't really love him. I really don't.
Yeah, like we talked about Derrick Rose. If he's somebody you land on in cash as the last spot, I mean, I did it on, I think it was Saturday night. I didn't hate landing on him again tonight. If you land on him as the last spot in cash, don't hate it, but not somebody that I'm going out of my way to roster.
Yeah, for sure. And then we got
and if I'm taking anybody for cash from Cleveland, it's gonna be Kevin Love.
Yeah, for sure. And we got this question about De'Aaron Fox too. So I will say this about Fox because he's gonna be a popular play tonight. So De'Aaron Fox for cash would be viable, and he's in a prime matchup. I will say this: he's definitely popular, and cash is a viable option. But for GPPs, man, I don't know. I feel like if he's the guard position, I might prefer somebody like DeRozan. I might just to get that leverage. But he's definitely going to be a popular play. I don't mind Fox. I think Fox is definitely in a great position. It's obviously a pace-up spot for Sacramento. So Fox ended up being a good play for sure.
Yeah, Fox is somebody that I definitely don't mind having tonight in cash. I think I'd rather have him over Derrick Rose. I know obviously him and Kevin Love don't play the same position, but I'd rather rearrange my roster to have him over Kevin Love tonight too. Right. So I definitely like De'Aaron Fox and his spot tonight against Minnesota.
Gordon or Bogdanovich? Well, which Bogdanovich are you talking about? Gordon is probably in the price range of the Utah one.
Yeah, Utah Bogdy, I would assume.
Yeah, no,
they're not even. They're 1,000.
Yeah, they're not the same. If you're talking for value, we do like Gordon tonight. I do like Gordon just because of more opportunity. But Utah's in a great position, obviously, with zero defense in Houston. I mean, it's just going to be them scoring against a bunch of second unit guys. So again, there's upside with them as long as they can keep it close. This could end up being a very pace up, high scoring game for Houston and Utah. But if they do blow them out, of course, there's always that possibility. So Bogdanovich may be in GPPs, I'd say. Gordon's definitely a safer option though, for sure. DeRozan or Donovan Mitchell? Good question. I would probably go DeRozan. I probably would just because of the benefits there. He gets the usage bump. It should be a competitive game. Yeah, he actually rates better on our sheet. I'm going to go ahead and build lineups here. Obviously, we're still awaiting that injury news from Miami until I start computing values for them. But let's go ahead and just give you guys a little bit of an idea of what I'm looking at here. All right, so no, here he comes with the fire. I haven't looked at the lineup, but here we go. Fox, Rivers, Hardenstein, Drummond, Donovan Mitchell, Podol. I think that's incomplete. Awaiting the rest of them. I don't know. You're really banking on Houston to play a close game with Utah if you're playing anybody from Utah. So I mean, it could pay off for you, but I don't know, guys. I feel like the optimal lineup is gonna have a ton of value guys mixed with like somebody like Doncic. This is my opinion, and like somebody like Karl Anthony Towns. You know, these high price guys mixed in with a lot of these value plays, because these value plays, man, they're like guaranteed points at this point.
Matt, I'm gonna rifle through a couple more questions. Somebody said any Dion Waiters love tonight. I know he played maybe 20 minutes last game. He actually played pretty well. I don't necessarily hate him, but definitely a GPP play. We got to wait and see what's going on with Jimmy. But yeah, not somebody that I'm going out of my way to roster in cash or GPPs. Joe Ingles cash tonight. I don't think you need him. I think it's a stars and scrubs type night, so I don't think you need that value from Houston and or San Antonio. Then go get Ingles, and then you're going to have like 13,000 left over for your remaining 3 roster spots. So you're going to have a lot of money on the cash on the table. So I don't think Joe Ingles is. I mean, he's in a good spot, obviously, going up against Houston, but I don't think you need him for cash tonight. You touched base on Gordon or Bogdy. Thoughts on the Orlando Heat game? Yeah, still pending Jimmy Butler, so that's pretty big. DeRozan or D-Mitch, you touched on that. I don't mind Donovan Mitchell. I think they're both in good spots. Obviously, DeRozan with no Aldridge, Donovan Mitchell going up against a depleted Houston team. So I could get on board with both of them. Mitchell, obviously, in the game that could result in a blowout and him only playing 28 minutes opposed to his normal, 34, 35. So that's one thing that you got to keep your eye on. Joe Ingles, no. Wiggins for cash if you land on him. No.
Yeah, I don't like Wiggins, to be honest.
Oh, Deion Waiters just got added to my player pool.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'd rather go SGA at 7-3. You're saying you're landing on him, so I'm assuming you have 7,100 left over. I'd probably rather go Gallinari now that CP3's out, or
Good point.
I'd rather go Eric Gordon or Dennis Schroeder. I'd rather go any of those guys over Andrew Wiggins. So when Wiggins drops 50 tonight, you can come blame me, so I'm sorry. But yeah, I'd definitely rather go with those three over. And I think if I had to pick one, man, I do like Eric Gordon, but I think I'd rather go Schroeder, especially if he starts for CP3.
So I want to back up real quick, guys. I made the statement. I think the optimal lineup is going to have a lot of value plays, and then you're going to have to pay up for some of these guys and kind of get lucky, see which of these pay up options kind of go off for you. It's kind of funny because my builds literally mirror what I just said. So to top the list here, Hartenstein, Podol, Butler, and Doncic are actually my top owned guys, and that's strictly just because of the way the builds play out. So just to give you an idea of what I'm going to be doing, a lot of my leverage is going to come from playing so many of these value plays. It's going to be sick. Like some of my lineups are just going to be strictly value plays from Houston and San Antonio with like Doncic mixed in there with a little bit of Drummond, sprinkle a little bit of Towns in there, right? So that's what my lineups. Those are what my majority of my lineups are going to look like. So just to give you a basis, just to give you an idea of what I'm going to be running here in GPPs, the cash lineup will look somewhat like that. We don't know if Doncic is going to make it into our cash lineup. I know me and TJ touched base on that a little bit, but strictly just because he's like the only option to pay up for tonight. Doncic is also in a decent spot, but with that whole roster being back, I don't really love Doncic tonight, but he's not a bad option tonight.
Yeah, so I think for cash tonight, the way that we're looking to construct, and I'm thinking currently right now is I do like Luka's spot because of the matchup. It should be a competitive game. It's the highest over-under on the slate. So that's one thing that I'm really looking at. He hasn't been as good, I guess, as of late, especially the last two games. I mean, played against Portland and Utah, so I'm not really. I mean, Utah and Portland both, made it their defensive purposes to shut down Luka as best as they could. I actually watched the Portland game, so I definitely do like Luka, and tonight he's definitely somebody that's viable in cash because you have all these cheap guys. So currently right now what I'm thinking is Hartenstein and Podol are definitely locks. Chris Clement, a fantastic cash play, most likely a lock. Austin Rivers, fantastic cash play, most likely a lock. So I think those are the four guys that I'm looking at tonight for value. When it comes to that second center position, you have to choose between Drummond and Karl-Anthony Towns. I think Drummond's in the better matchup against Cleveland. I also really like Karl-Anthony Towns against Sacramento, going up against Dwayne Dedmon. I mean, they don't have Holmes, they don't have Bagley. So I think both are in fantastic spots. I think that ownership is going to be split pretty evenly. I think it's going to be a little bit more on Drummond opposed to Cat. But like I said, they're both in really good spots. I really wish I could play both of them tonight because if I had the option, I'd probably rather play Drummond and Cat over Luka, but you don't have that luxury because you definitely need Jakob Poeltl in either your center or util spot tonight. Hartenstein, thankfully, has forward eligibility, so you can throw him at power forward or whatever you need. So I definitely think that Hartenstein, Hurdle or Poeltl, whatever me and Matt want to talk, we can talk about that later. However you pronounce his name. Clemens and Rivers, I think those are going to be my four cash locks. And then I think I'm going to spend up for Luka because he's the only guy really that you're spending up for tonight. And then it's between Drummond and Cat, and then you have your fillers, DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, all cash viable. If it's me, I think I'm leaning De'Aaron Fox, but I don't hate DeRozan as well. So yeah, you're definitely going to have to make some stands. Dennis Schroeder, obviously cash viable now with CP3 getting ruled out. But then it's kind of like, do you want Daniel House? Do you want PJ Tucker? Do you want Rudy Gay? Like, there's just so much value tonight. But I think that's the direction that we'll be going tonight.
If you guys heard all that, he's dropping some cash knowledge. If you guys didn't hear that, I'm sorry. For the people who are leaving the chat, I'm sorry. But he pretty much just gave you a cash lineup if you guys were listening.
Yeah, basically I do it every night. I mean, we've been pretty successful recently with our cash lineups, and when we're building it, I basically give people my lineups, and it's funny seeing some of the lineups that people will DM us, and it's like, did you listen to anything that I talked about on the stream?
With that being said, don't get scared away from that.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that like once we get off, someone said Fox or Rose. I like Fox, but I think they're both in really good spots. So if Tony Snell's out, that makes Rose a little bit more interesting. Maybe a couple more minutes for him. Not that Tony Snell's a big usage guy, but just the minutes will be there a little bit more for D Rose. But I'm kind of leaning toward De'Aaron Fox right now.
Hero's actually rating well on their sheet, TJ.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I know.
You don't like him, do you?
No, I do, and I took him the other night, and he was fine. But someone like Dion Waiters came on the court and played the 18 minutes, and he was just chucking up threes. So I don't think Hero was as productive as he should have been when none. And I think Dragic was out too that game that we rostered Hero. He did fine, but he took some stupid shots too. Took some real stupid shots. He had a steal and then had like a pull-up three on a 1-on-3, and I was like, what are you doing, man? Like, he's 19, he's young.
He was talking trash to somebody in his face. I forget who it was guarding him.
Good. Rose is priced so high. Yeah, last 2 games he's hit value. He hasn't done anything too crazy. And I think Reggie Jackson is kind of hurting him a little bit. And someone asked about Reggie Jackson. I actually really liked Reggie Jackson, but the minutes still aren't there, unfortunately, for him. When he's played, he's been very productive in the time that he's been on the court. He's played 19 and 23 minutes. He's taken 14 and 13 shots respectively. So I definitely don't mind him as a GPP play tonight, but I don't think you need him for cash. I think there's too much value in Houston, too much value in San Antonio.
Yeah, guys, I want to talk about that misconception in DFS, because a lot of people are like, they talk about a certain player being too high or too low. It's like, what are you basing that off of? Derrick Rose has been destroying it. I mean, he averages between 1.3 and 1.4 fantasy points per minute, and at 7.8, that's really not that bad. I know it's a pretty big price increase at 7.8, but guys, he's still worth it. I'm not saying go ahead and start him. There's obviously a lot of options tonight, but Derrick Rose is not a bad play at 7.8. So don't get scared away from the price tags. Don't look at people's names. I mean, you got to look at the stats, guys, and that's why you join the live stream, because we'll break that down for you.
Big stat, guys.
Big stat, guys.
Real big.
Nothing but stats. Go ahead and fire away any questions you guys have into the chat. Again, if this is your first time, feel free. Do not hesitate to ask any questions whatsoever. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell. Be the first to the live stream. And we will be doing this every single night, guys, going forward. So again, appreciate all your support. I will go ahead and pull up my lineup builds here. I updated the values with the Heat, assuming Jimmy Butler does play. And I really am high on Jimmy Butler now. Looks like he gets a bit of an increase in usage. TJ, I'm pretty sure you saw that as well. I'm averaging 1.35 fantasy points per minute with those guys off the court here. So Jimmy Butler, Doncic, and Drummond are going to top my list here for pay-up options. What are you thinking for pay-up? I think you agree with that based on what we've said so far.
Well, as I sit here and try and construct, I obviously have Chris Clemens and Austin Rivers. So that's your point guard and your shooting guard, right? So the one frustrating thing about tonight is that I just alluded to, I'd love to get De'Aaron Fox, but I think Luka's a necessity just because of his price tag and all the value. I think he's going to be very, very high owned, especially in cash. So that's your guard position as well. And then that's it. You can't have any more guards because you need Jakob Poeltl. So, if I'm rostering Clemens, Rivers, Drummond, Luka, and Jakob Poeltl as my 5 for my core, that is my center position, my util, and all my guards. So I have nothing but forwards left to fill out. So it is pretty tough sledding, to be honest. Trying to figure out who you're going to make a hard stand on and who you're going to fade. Because if you do fade Luka, then mm-hmm. There's just nobody else to pay up for, especially with the value that you have. So yeah, it's definitely tough. It's kind of making me really like Cat a little bit.
I will say this, and I had a feeling this would happen just based on the roster constructions. My smart fade for cash, and I'm not saying this is smart. I mean, not for cash. My smart fade for GPPs, this is not smart for cash. And TJ's about to close his ears here. Is going to be Darian Fox. I think there's a lot of other options here to pay up for the guard position. So for GPPs, I think I'm going to fade just because I'm underweight on him. I'm sitting here at 5%. 23 is going to hurt me anyway to have here, but it looks like all these other guys are going to be in my lineup. Like, so somebody like Mitchell would be a great pivot off of him. Could create a lot of leverage. So the answer, I think I got that question earlier. So now I'm kind of settled on that. Mitchell or Fox. Fox and cash, Mitchell and GPP. I will say that. I know, TJ, you hate me sometimes. But look, hey, this is why I'm a GPP player, and this is why TJ's a cash player. So, two different mindsets, completely two different mindsets when you look at those two different contests. So if you guys haven't watched my video, that's something I went over. So if you're underweight on the player after building your builds, it's good to exclude them. As you guys can see, I'm underweight. I'm very underweight on Darian Fox here, 5% as compared to 23% on the field. So I know sometimes you have to be stupid in GPPs, and it looks like Vooch is another one I'm very under-owned on. I don't really like the Magic though, so I'm kind of okay with that.
So no, I like that lineup. I think you're fading Austin Rivers at 70% for cash tonight. So I don't know if that's cash or GPP. So that's the only thing I'd be scared of, especially just because the minutes are going to be there for him.
We got a question here about tiers. We don't do tiers. However, I used to do showdown lineups just because I'm doing so much research throughout the day and I'm trying to perfect the streams for you guys in the videos. I haven't had time to get back to that, but I might end up doing that. That might be another option. So if you guys do want to hear more content on like showdown contests or tiers, let me know. I'm definitely more than happy to do that content for you guys.
Can I raise my hand for that?
Yep.
Can I say
Go ahead.
Okay. I would like that.
Okay.
Please.
Cool. So real quick, we do the same thing for showdowns too. So we go through the usage and stuff. So it's very consistent for showdown lineups too. So we might get back to that. We'll talk about it.
Yeesh. What else? Bielisa, Ingles, or Gallo? I'm assuming Gallinari for cash. I'd say Gallinari with CP3 being out. I think he rates out the best on our sheet. I don't hate Bielisa tonight, but I'd personally rather go Gallinari tonight.
Appreciate the love there, Cody. Hopefully everybody else feels the same way.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I want any of those three, though. That's the scary thing. But if I had to pick one, it'd be Gallinari. Oh, Alan Crabb's out.
Oh, that's going to change your slate.
Man. Oh.
Sarcasm, guys. Don't take it serious.
Another triple-double now.
All right, who are you picking for small forward and forward position in cash? Depending on what kind of tier you're looking for as far as a price tag. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick.
You want me to answer that?
Go ahead.
Who are you picking for small? So, small forward, if Jimmy Butler's in, I really like him at 8K. Mm-hmm. And then at power forward, I think you need Hardenstein in there. He's definitely cemented in my lineups right there at the power forward spot. So those are the two that I'm really honing in on for cash.
I also like, if you're going lower tier here, Rudy Gay, Daniel House, top the list there, obviously. And I think DeRozan's another viable option.
Yep, agree with all that.
Looks like question. No, that's a comment. DeRozan or Butler? I literally just answered that. Sorry. Butler's probably a better option just because of his price tag. I know $200 isn't much, but that he rates better on our sheet. He does well without none on the court. So we do like Butler, but I also do like DeRozan as well. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably go Butler.
It's like 1 and 1A. They're both in very good spots. So
they are.
I don't hate either of them. It's tough to kind of see, what kind of mindset someone like DeRozan's going to have. Somebody obviously Kobe passing away. I think that's obviously it was pretty evident that affected some guys yesterday in their play. But yeah, I know Pop was before the game. He was talking to DeRozan, who was obviously bummed out like everybody in the world. So DeRozan 4-9 yesterday, pretty lackadaisical performance, and don't blame him in the slightest. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has a big bounce back game tonight, especially with Aldridge off the court. So
that's a good thing to touch base on because, as you guys know, Doncic just recently had a good relationship with Kobe, and he was obviously very affected by everything that happened. So if you're in the narratives, definitely would target somebody like Doncic because Doncic obviously becoming pretty close with Kobe, and his daughter actually got a picture with her. So definitely something to look at there. Dragic question mark. Good question. I haven't really looked at him, so let's look at him.
If Jimmy Butler's out, I think Dragic becomes a very, very, very good cash play, almost a lock.
Big
I
if.
haven't computed because I'm still pending on Jimmy Butler, so I don't want to jump the gun and do it, and then obviously have to recalculate. But at 5'8", I mean, Dragic is he's a very good fantasy point per minute, especially with not off the court. So I definitely like him, but I don't know if he's cash viable. Again, if Jimmy Butler gets ruled out, then yeah, I'm all over Dragic.
Yeah, again, if Jimmy Butler does come out, we're gonna have to shake up things again. So,
Yeah.
but I will say this: if Butler is out, I still like Houston the best, and then it becomes whether it's between San Antonio or Miami for like your value. I'd still be all over Polo, but then like somebody like Tyler Hero would probably step up. Dragic would be a great mid-range play. It'd be hard to compare between San Antonio and Miami at that point, but the Houston's still obviously one of the best values all year. So don't fade Houston players tonight, please.
Yeah, I'm fading. I might fade Austin Rivers. No, I'm kidding, but I might.
Yeah, it's funny. Whenever I take Austin Rivers in a good spot, it usually does really well for me. So if you guys want to ride with me with the Austin Rivers train.
Hey, so no, I don't hate the leaving 700 on the table. I did it the other night in cash and it worked. So if that's the lineup that you're most comfortable with and you think gives you the best chance to win, then I mean, I was in that same situation actually. The lineup that I was looking at, it was I had 7,700 left, and I don't hate going down to Gallinari.
We're going to get off here in about 5 minutes or so feel free to ask any last-minute questions. Hopefully we get this news of the Heat soon, so we can go ahead and break down that edge for you guys. But with all that being said, guys, thanks for showing your support. If you guys haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. I sound like a broken record. I'm sorry. I'm just doing my marketing, guys. Let me get through it. Hit my notification. Please hit that notification bell and show up to all the streams, guys. We try to create an edge for all of our customers. You have an updated lineup here. Luka, Rivers. I don't know if you touched base on this. Luka, Rivers, House, Hardenstein, Polo, Murray, Butler, Towns. I love that. I really do like that lineup a lot.
Yeah, real good spot too. So
yeah, I liked it a lot. Dragic question mark. It looks like Dragic is playing. Wait, I already went through that. Can you go both Butler and Dragic? Sure. I don't see why not. Depends though. Cash or GPP, because I think that's more of a GPP option.
Someone asked about Michael Carter Williams. It's funny, when I was driving back, I had done values before I headed back up. I live in Portland, Maine. My parents live in Boston, so I went home and saw them this weekend. And when I was driving back, Michael Carter Williams rated out sneaky well on our sheet, and he was going to be one of my GPP plays that I announced. And when I looked and saw what he did, I was like, man, I really wish I got that off on stream. So I think, again, he rates out pretty well. He should see the uptick in minutes because of the way he played yesterday, I would assume. But GPP strictly, and I wouldn't go too crazy overweight on him. Don't expect him to duplicate what he did yesterday. But he was a monster.
7,600 for forward. Let's go ahead and look at that. I think there's somebody else in a similar position. It looks like a lot of these builds are gonna be the same from our stream.
It's tough to say, but I'm probably gonna go down to Gallinari if I'm in that situation. I get Wiggins as an like you can get Wiggins or Porzingis. I mean, it's not like a really, really good spot. It's not a spot that you really want to be in. But yeah, I'm probably, if I'm in that situation, I'd go Gallinari.
I don't hate Porzingis,
right?
But I do like Gallinari. So, yeah. It's a coin flip at that point. I mean, Porzingis isn't a bad spot.
Yeah, it's stay going, my Caucasian brothers. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. That's my guy.
Appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I try
What
my
else?
best, guys. We do try our best to give you guys an edge. I know we're not perfect. I know we do miss sometimes. But majority of the time we give you guys some great plays. Last night we had some great GPP plays. I know TJ was without me, so I had to do it by myself. So we had some great plays like favors at 36 man. We had who else
Dylan
was
Brooks.
it? Yeah, we had like the whole Phoenix lineup snapped. So again, I was very excited about that. So I had a lot of Suns. The one guy that did mess up for me was Jaylen Brown, but understandably so. So I would have taken down a couple GPPs though if Jaylen Brown, if I would have just pivoted off of him. I was a little bit too overweight on him. So
Cat
Drummond.
or Drummond cash. Yeah, Drummond. I
Well,
think
if you're-
Cat for GPPs. It's tough. They're gonna be
yeah.
It's gonna be split on their ownership. I think Drummond's the safer pick, but I like Cat for GPPs. Guys, so real quick, I just wanna reiterate my thoughts again for cash tonight. I think you're locking in Hartenstein at power forward. I think you got Jakob Hurtel in either your center or util spot. I think you have Drummond in your center or util spot, or Cat. I think I'm leaning Drummond as of right now. I think he's the safer play. I think he's got the better matchup. I think you're locking in Chris Clemens. And then I think if Derrick Rose is out.
Derrick Rose is out. All right, so you guys get an extra bonus here. You ready? It's funny that, and Anthony Snow, it's funny the way that we react to that. Like a big smile popped on my face because it's huge leverage and GPPs, but for cash it's just frustrating because he has the lineup built already.
I have to change my lineup now.
Yeah. So just an FYI, guys, TJ is a cash guy. I'm a GPP guy. So it's just funny the two different reactions that happen when that news gets out to us.
I'm a cash guy with.
Oh my gosh, dude! Nobody is in the lineup, or nobody's on the Rotogrinders roster right now for Detroit.
What do you mean?
There's like nobody there. Why is Drummond out? Oh, there he is. Okay, he came back.
Drummond's not playing anymore.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna wait for these to update, guys.
So initial thoughts. I'd be interested to see if Reggie Jackson gets a minute bump, just because they're going to need guards.
Yeah.
Bruce Brown becomes a fantastic play. That's kind of it, I would think, just from a first glance.
Wait, is Bruce Brown playing? That's my man.
Say it again.
Bruce Brown.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't necessarily know if that. I mean, it depends on his minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
We've seen Bruce Brown play 35, 36 minutes before. So if he's up getting those kind of minutes, running point with Reggie Jackson, would I throw him up with those Houston guys? No, but maybe ahead of those Spurs guys. Definitely a potential, not ahead of Hurdle. I think Hurdle, Harenstein, and Clement. Nah, I think Hurdle and Harenstein are your locks. So Jimmy Butler's going to get ruled out now. I guarantee it. 100%. Because that's the way the world works. And nobody wants to play, and I don't blame them. So it's...
Yeah. This is a decent sample. So I just wish the news would have come out earlier on that. Reggie Jackson, 22 minutes, 1.89 fantasy points per minute. So there's
that's what
there's
I'm
my
saying.
knowledge.
If he gets a bump in minutes, I think that makes Reggie Jackson very viable. I
Waiting
don't
for
know.
these minutes to be updated, though.
So it's D Rose, it's Blake, it's Snell, it's Thomas, it's Luke Kennard, and it is, who am I missing? Reggie's back. I didn't even think of Tim Frazier. Yikes, I didn't even think of Tim Frazier.
I don't know if he's... yeah, it's dependent on Reggie Jackson's minutes, though.
Yeah.
Man, Reggie Jackson has been killing it, though.
He's been playing well. That's what I'm saying. If he gets a bump in minutes and if they gonna bring him up to 28 or something like that, I think he's
very valuable.
What's Bruce Brown? 1.18 and gets a 3% usage bump. Yeah, I mean that makes him a really good cash play.
Again, guys, if you're new to the stream, what we do is we calculate our own values here. So we're just waiting for the minutes to update, and then we will update Detroit, give you our favorite updated plays on the entire slate, and how to prioritize some of these guys.
I'm gonna put Bruce Brown at 34 minutes. That's gonna be my guess.
Your educated guess.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do 32 because I'm gonna think they put Reggie Jackson to 24. I don't think they'll give him more than 24 minutes. So I'm gonna say Bruce Brown at 32. I'm gonna give him his usage bump. I'm gonna give him his.
Man, 1.18 fantasy points per minute, Bruce Brown.
Yeah, so if Bruce Brown gets 32 minutes, he's an 8.3 on our sheet.
Oof. So that slides right in behind. Hold on. That's the 4th best value on our sheet.
Yeah, so that's scary. But I want to see how this affects Drummond as well.
I'll go ahead and answer some questions here before I wait for the minutes to update.
All right, that actually helps Drummond too, which kind of solidifies my Drummond Cat discussion. I think, excuse me, if the matchup was not Cleveland, I'd be a little worried if D Rose was out, but that it is Cleveland and this game still should be competitive, even if it was me, Matt, Drummond, Bruce Brown, and Mikhailou. I think we'd have a chance against Cleveland. So yeah, I think this kind of solidifies my Drummond cash play with Hurdle over Cat. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna assume Bruce Brown gets 32 minutes. I wonder what Mikhailou's minutes are actually gonna look like.
Do you guys do MLB? You guys want to know a fun story? A real quick story. Last season, TJ, other than the $2,500, TJ turned $1 into $500 on a GPP, which is $500 return or 500 times return. I don't think we've ever gotten better. So to sit here and say that we're better at NBA would be a lie. I think we're pretty good at MLB too. So I can't wait for MLB season. It'll be fun. We're gonna be doing live streams for that as well. So cannot wait for that.
The basketball GPP I had this year that just happened. I was 3rd out of 37,000, 37,700. But the MLB, I was 5th out of 45,000 people. Yeah. It was wild. It was absolutely wild. So Noel's okay to play, so he'll get his backup center minutes to Steven Adams. So I still think Steven Adams is a good GPP play, but not cash.
So they'll start. Yeah, go ahead. Makers in there.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta wait and see. Did they give Bruce Brown? Can't wait till I see the updated minutes. It's 32.
Yeah, I'm staying on stream, guys. For you guys, I'm gonna wait for the minutes, and obviously Thon Maker's not in the player pool. I'm gonna wait for that, and then I will get off. I'll go ahead and update all my favorite plays. TJ, if you want to get off just a little bit earlier, that's fine too. I'm gonna stay with you guys. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging.
Yeah, probably 640 is my threshold to get everything.
So it should be out by then.
So, I'll hang for a little bit.
Just hanging out with us, guys. We're waiting for the minutes to update for Detroit, and obviously everybody's not added to the player pool yet. So once those minutes come out, we will update our usage and our fantasy points per minute and calculate the value here, and then we'll be on our way. We'll have a better understanding of the slate. If this is your first time to the stream, feel free to ask any questions right now. We have a little bit of dead time here. Again, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification bell for you guys to be first to the live stream. We love seeing you guys. We love seeing all the support. Obviously, this is a growing channel. We have had the best growth the past 3 days that we've had the entire time we've been a company. So we really do appreciate the support, guys. All over the place.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You guys been awesome. We really appreciate it. Seriously.
Very humbling, guys. Do appreciate it. They still didn't update the minutes. Why is this taking so long? And I cannot wait. No, TJ, I cannot wait till they update all the minutes for Detroit, update all the values, and then Butler gets ruled out.
Butler gets ruled out? Yeah.
Can't wait.
If Butler gets ruled out, I will shut my laptop and not play, and I will just forfeit my money. I think that would be a viable option. So I think everybody else should just do the same. I'm just going to take the $200 that I have down and just forfeit it, because...
My Kawhi Leonard laugh just came in. I want to see if it happens on the live stream.
Oh, did it work?
I think so. Hold on, let me look at the live stream. So for a new subscriber, guys, Kawhi Leonard comes onto the screen. He should show his thumbs up, and then it should show the new subscriber's name across the screen. I'm gonna see if it actually worked.
Well,
it did.
They would have already seen it. I didn't see it.
No, it's on there. Sorry, it's on there right now. I'm sure everybody else saw it on the stream.
Let's go. It worked. That's awesome. Sorry you guys have to watch us as a delay. But I wanted the image of Kawhi in the strip club, but Matt voted against that. So
I did.
Yeah.
All right, Mikhailou, 29 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and update all the minutes, guys. feel free to stay around and watch me do this because...
Matt?
What's up? What's up? Can you not hear me? Of course. I'm going to go ahead and update all the minutes here, guys. Bruce Brown. It looks like TJ's having connection issues here. If you guys can... Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I just realized I muted my laptop.
Oh, nice. That would explain it. Oh, it just worked again.
That was so embarrassing. Is it working? That's
Yeah.
incredible. You guys are the best, seriously. All right. Have we gotten updated minutes? I'm sorry. I just basically blacked out. Yeah, okay. Minutes definitely updated. Bruce Brown, 32. I mean...
Yeah, I'll give you props for that one. Good job, man.
Okay, they did bump... So they bumped Reggie to 26 as well. I don't think he plays 26. I really don't. I guess he could.
I can't
I
believe it.
definitely have more interest in Bruce Brown.
Yes, definitely a lot of interest. I'm going to rebuild everything here.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get him, though, with all of the other value. It's just...
I'm going to look at Jackson's minutes or his usage without Derrick Rose on the court here. 50 minutes, man.
Huh?
I'm just going to have to see how he does with everybody back. That's the only way that we can get a decent understanding of what he's doing.
Who, Reggie?
Yeah. 65 minutes. Like, I'm not putting 1.43 fantasy points into the pool here.
Yeah. I'd modify that for sure a little bit. I mean, so the only thing I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at my lineup right now. If I want to get Bruce Brown in there, I think the one guy from Houston that I get off of would be Austin Rivers. And I don't necessarily think that that's the move. Now, Bruce Brown will be an awesome GPP play because I think he's going to be under-owned in relativity to the Houston guys, but I don't think he becomes a cash necessity. Same thing with Reggie Jackson. I don't think that either of these guys are cash needs, but I think they're really enticing GPP plays. Like I said, that would cause you to get off of. For me personally, out of those Houston guys, Austin Rivers would be the guy that I would get off of, and I don't like doing that.
I'm gonna ride their minute. I'm gonna ride Roto's projections here. Reggie Jackson's projected at 26.38. It's about a point per minute, and it puts him at a 6.1. I'm gonna go ahead and just go with that. I'm not gonna get too crazy.
Ask me what I put Reggie Jackson at. Fantasy point per minute.
You put him at like 33.
33 fantasy points per minute?
No, you put him at 1.4 something.
I put him at 1 fantasy point per minute.
Oh, and he got it. Look at you.
Well, that's what you said.
Yeah.
Roto. I am Roto. I'm better than Roto.
All right, guys. We have to get off here real soon, so I'm going to go ahead. I calculated all the values that I needed for this slate. I'm building lineups 150. Obviously, it's going to show you my favorite plays on the slate. I'm going to recap.
Jimmy Butler's out.
No, he's not.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Okay. I called your bluff.
We like to have fun here.
All right, ready? Hardenstein, Bruce Brown, Podol, Andre Drummond, Jimmy Butler, Doncic are my favorite plays on the slate. DeJounte Murray's another great GPP option. Towns, great GPP option. Clemens, a great cash/GPP option. Still, those are my favorite plays. What do you have to add to that, TJ? Do you have anything to add to that?
Hartenstein and Hurdle are still my two favorite plays on the slate. I think that's pretty evident. Anybody else can get ruled out, and those are still the two guys that I'm locking in no matter what. I think Luka is definitely a necessity in cash. I think Drummond is as well. Chris Clemens, Austin Rivers, both great cash plays. If you want to get off of one of those two and go to Bruce Brown or Reggie Jackson, I don't hate it, but I think that the ownership is still going to be on those Houston guys. So regardless of the injury news that we just heard with Rose out, I'm still going to be locking in those Houston guys.
To go back to who was your favorite small forward question, it's now Bruce Brown.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway.
And Jimmy, but
yeah, and Jimmy.
But Bruce Brown value wise for forwards, for small forwards would be Bruce Brown for sure.
All right, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I do apologize for going really long here and not being ready for all these minutes. But guys, this does happen. This is NBA. Random injury news does come out. Now, that's one thing we don't have to worry about for MLB, going back to the MLB question. So thankfully, guys, we won't be doing that on those live streams. But for NBA, this is the way to get the edge. We calculate values all the way up through lock. And obviously, we don't like to leave you guys hanging. So with all that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off. TJ, any last words?
Good luck, guys. Thanks for the support. Rest in peace, Kobe and GG and everybody else that was on that plane. Just absolutely tragic what happened yesterday. So thoughts and prayers to all the families and friends that were affected. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them tonight, every single time that you have the chance to do it, because in the snap of a finger, your world can get turned upside down. So just make sure that's something that you do if it's something you don't do as often.
Thanks for that, TJ. With all that being said, guys, have a great night. Happy Monday. And let's cash.
See you guys.